This is Cunningham Falls in Maryland, and that's part of this loop that we're doing. This is the Thurmont loop in Thurmont, Maryland, central Maryland. And here we can see the previous section and the next section we're going to do today in orange. And then finally, we'll do this teal section. So I'm Dylan. Welcome to Checkpoint Running, and let's get started. So this is where we left off in our previous section. This is Hog Rock. We're going to go ahead and hit the trail. Just running here, and this was a beautiful clear day back in March, and this is just a beautiful route. So I wanted to share it with you guys and break it up into sections in case you're not an ultra runner and you just want to have a nice trail run, or relax as you follow along. However, you might enjoy this. So we can see here, this is a pretty straight section, and it is downhill almost entirely. So I'm going pretty easy. I think at this point, I'm about halfway around the loop, as you saw in the map at the beginning. So I have started to slow down a bit, get a little tired, and I wasn't trying to push really hard on this. This was a nice, easy training run. So don't expect super high speeds even on these downhills. At the time that I recorded this, this was the first time I'd ever run this trail. So I didn't know what to expect, and it was really nice. And so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you'll follow along. At the bottom of this climb, we get to Cunningham Falls, which you got a preview there at the beginning of the video. It's a very, very popular area for this state park because you can access it directly from the road, and it's just like a very short walk, maybe 100 yards or something, about 100 meters off of the road, and there's plenty of parking and stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So there were a lot of people there, and since I film and I try to be respectful, I didn't film a whole lot of footage. I'll also admit that I didn't come prepared for this loop very well. The day was hotter than normal for that time of year, and I'm not acclimated to the heat in March. So I actually had run out of water at Hog Rock there. Literally while I was standing there filming Hog Rock and sipping on my water to get ready to do the next section here, I finished off the water I had. So I was in a little bit of a hurry also to try to get back and not be stressing myself because I didn't know where I would find potable water. I didn't have a filter with me or anything. It's not usually a problem in Maryland. There's plenty of streams and surface water all over the place, but I didn't have my filter, so I didn't want to risk it and get sick or something. Obviously, if I was desperate, I would have just drank directly out of the stream or whatever. But I'd rather, I just took it a bit easy here, didn't stress myself, and just kept going. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever found yourselves in those situations where you're running and run out of water or, food. Less important for food, but it can still be a stressor if you run out of food. And it's not fun if you've ever done that and know that you have many miles still to go. So I was a little worried and wanted to just make sure I took it easy. And so this run will reflect that. This is a nice, easy downhill run, just a little bit of uphills here. And you can see I just slow all the way down to a walk. I had no reason to be pushing myself on this climb. I'm just using the poles to support myself. As for the run itself, so this is part 7 of 10 doing this Thurmont loop. The loop in total is 18 miles, almost exactly. It's a very nice loop. I'll probably go back and do it again because I really enjoyed it and I really like this trail. This clear day where, the trees haven't leafed out yet was pretty awesome, but I think I want to go back and see it with everything being green. And then definitely in the fall as the leaves change, I think some of these views will just be spectacular and beautiful. So I'll probably do this a few more times this year. It's also a pretty good training loop because even over 18 miles, you end up covering about 6,000 feet of elevation gain, if I remember correctly. So, it's in chunks like, a couple hundred feet at a time.
Morning.
With a couple of, 1,000 to 1,200 foot climbs along the way. But it was a really good training run for getting in some vert as well. As for the training run, why do I do these long runs? I don't know if I've ever talked about this in this video. So as an ultra runner, I want to do long runs so that I can do ultra races, right? I need to prepare for the distance. And so these runs are really about going slow, being comfortable, and more about making sure I just have consistent effort. It helps my muscles obviously adapt to the fatigue and the distance. It helps my feet adapt to how many steps you take. But these long runs are, more, I think that they help with my connective tissues, the ligaments and tendons more than anything. They help build that strength and make sure that they're very, very tough and that I can handle, turning my ankle at different angles or applying a stress to my Achilles as I climb and not have an issue. And it takes a very long time to build that up. Muscles, blood vessels, red blood cells, heart, lungs, those all adapt relatively quickly. It may be over 2-3 weeks for the most part. But your tendons and ligaments, those connective tissues, take a long time to adapt. They have lower blood flow to them, and it takes longer for the cells to build up and divide and repair and all of that compared to muscle or blood, like I said. So what I find, and actually a friend who just got into running posted this on one of the social media accounts, that they were having shin pain, like really burning shin pain anytime they ran. Walking, they're fine, but if they tried to run, they just got this burning pain in their lower shin. And it wasn't on the bone, and that's important. The pain on a bone could indicate a fracture or stress fracture, hairline fracture, something like that. And that's bad. Those need complete rest. You have to just not put weight on it for your bones to heal properly. But this burning sensation, which I think a lot of new runners can relate to. Maybe you've tried running in the past or whatever. I can certainly relate to it when I started running. Is actually where the ligaments are attached, the muscle to the bone, the ligaments, and it's not as strong, and it's certainly not used to the level of effort and stress you're putting on it when you start to run. And so if you go too fast, right, like maybe your first run you feel fine, right, and so your next run you speed it up, and you speed it up too fast, or you go too far, right? Maybe you jump from like running a mile to running 5K, right? 3.1 miles suddenly without slow build up, right? Just a little bit at a time. you'll get that. And some people call it shin splints, although that's really more talking about fractures of the bone, but that burning. And it's just from trying to do too much too soon, because your muscles might feel fine, they're not sore. You might not be out of breath. Your heart rate may not be getting up super high, but your connective tissues just haven't had time to adapt to the new demands you're putting on them. And so she was asking whether she should be concerned or if she should keep running through it or whatever. And as much as it hurts, like, yeah, you probably need to keep the effort, but dial it back just a little bit. So keep running, but dial it back. And also introduce stretches, foam rolling, massage. Those sort of things can help it heal up a little bit faster, or at least help you adapt to the pain, right? So like a nice deep tissue massage might hurt, but it'll help your body get used to that level of pain and discomfort. So when you do run, while the pain is still there, you're I guess more acclimated to it. And that's part of also these long runs, right? I definitely start to feel these things.
Leveled out a little bit, and there's not many.
Like I am not superhuman. I am not an elite ultra runner or something, right? I feel the discomfort and I feel the pain sometimes on these long runs, especially if I'm doing like a really long run, like maybe I'm running for 6 or 8 hours. And I think a lot of ultra running is just becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'll say it again, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it sounds silly.
Hi. Hey, good. How are you?
But it's true, right? Like I ache, things hurt, feet especially start to hurt. You might be able to relate if you've, maybe had to stand on your feet for longer than you normally do. Maybe you sit in a desk all day and then over the weekend you're asked to like stand all day or walk around like an amusement park with your family or whatever, and your feet hurt. Yeah, I get the same thing when I do these runs, and I just get used to it. And that's why we do the long runs. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so and just build that experience so that when you're doing it on a race or, a new long run distance, you know how to handle it. It's not a concern. Dull aches and pains, not really concerns. Sharp aches and pains, probably a concern. You might want to address it. Could be bone, could be, strained tendons or ligaments that need extra attention and care. But they happen. So that's what these long runs are for. We're coming now down to the bottom of the hill here. You can see it got a little steeper there. And they put in some steps to prevent erosion and also help hikers. And we come down here, and this is Maryland 77, I believe, is the road. And we're just going to cross the street here over to the falls. Just watching for traffic. It's a very busy road. Like I said, this is a popular part of the park because you have this road access directly to this beautiful falls. Also, it might be hard to tell, but in the straight ahead of us there is a tow truck. I noticed he was getting ready to line up on this van. They had parked in the hatched section, right, like where it's painted with stripes that you're not supposed to park there. And he was getting ready to take them away. Felt bad for whoever it might have been. Because there's plenty of parking, so I don't know if they arrived when it was full and they just thought, oh, I'll park here and nobody will get me or what. Anyway, there we are at the bottom of the hill. I'm just walking here, taking a quick recovery. I think get a little bit of food and get ready to get to the falls, which are just at the end of the walkway here. So I hope you enjoyed that journey with me. Check back again for parts 8, 9, and 10, or go back and watch the other parts. Thanks for being here.